come on this weekend.
Hours blasting music.
It's just one bang. So they shoot, bang.
If you Google or go on YouTube and write Pimba music, I mean, you know, we understand the lyrics and they're usually funny and it's like, ah ha ha, you know, and hearing that type of music for many, many hours in a row. It's not easy, not easy.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, tired. Need to go a little bit quick because it's still, the Fayal Festival is still going on. This is second weekend, so we couldn't record anything
Yes.
on the last week.
And we do a few nights sleep.
It's a crazy party. So if you want to come here, don't come on this weekend because it's just crazy. It's like a street festival.
So it's the town traditional party. It's a party for the saint, the Holy Lady of Mercy. All the Holy Ladies are the same in Portugal. All of them refer to Jesus' mother, Maria. But each region or locale has a specific way of adoring the saint, or they assign her a specific role that has to do with whatever the town is known for. For example, usually in fishermen towns or cities, it would be the fisherman protector and so on. In this locale, they told me, is the Holy Lady of Mercy. Everyone needs a bit of mercy, I guess. So.
Okay, and then what's the celebration? Because there was like, they told us it's gonna be a big party. So we are in the center, and then they just set up like this huge stage. It's like we go on any kind of music festival. There's a big stage with big speakers, and then they dress up the town with lights and flowers, and then I think they march all around the town. I don't know where they start, but they like end up at the church.
They start in the church, go all around, and end up at the church. That's always how it goes, and that's the traditional thing. So it's traditionally a religious party. So that's they have the mass and they have the parade. I don't know which weekend, but one weekend is a big parade and the other one is just like the finalizing weekend is the shorter parade, I think. And then on the first weekend, they also do an actual like sort of a mini music festival sort of thing, but with, it's not a catered music selection as a music festival would have, but rather like a very popular style of music that most people around the country like to just, you know, dance with, and it's like funny music, Pimba music as we call it, for the most part. And then there's always those bands that play like, instead of playing originals, they play like the hits, both Portuguese and pop hits, foreign ones and stuff like that. But it ran the first day, the first night, Friday, it ran up to 4-ish in the morning, and the second night up to 5. So they have the live bands first, and then they have a DJ for hours blasting music. And then he finished actually with, I think it was like techno. It was just such a strong beat, nothing against techno, but my God, when it plays blasting on the speakers just behind your house window, it's a bit...
I don't know why they have to do like in the center. Yeah, it's very rare, because even if in UK, if they have like a street festival or something, they stop at 10 midnight top.
And then they take it to the clubs, but there's no clubs here.
No. They like, you can have a festival, but you have to like, you cannot do it in the city. You have to be outside because there is like a noise complaint, and you have to stick to the law. So I think you have to close everything 11 or 12, whatever. Yeah, sure. They have to pack up, and then you can have a festival outside the residential area. But here it's just like they set up like, and then it's weird because like 200 meters down you have the beach with a like crazy open space. So like much more people could fit in. It would be much easier. Everyone could go down and have, because there's no residential areas there. It's just the beach. Yeah. Huge parking lot. You could just put the party there. There is like a go-kart part as well. So they put every noisy thing down to the beach. So I don't know why they have to do the party here. That was crazy. Friday they have like club music till 4, and then Saturday was more like live band, and then Sunday they finished like at they have the parade or they walk around, and then they finished at like midnight-ish, and then they packed up and went home. But it's like the whole town is just walking around the streets with kids, even babies, and everyone like is up until 3, 4 in the morning, and then you have like street food, and then everyone just get drunk. And
it's a very traditional party. Even when people got drunk, everything was very civil, and it was just very noisy. And it's which is great if you're in the mood to party and see know the local people and everything. But obviously, if you're a bit tired or you actually have to do some work on that weekend, as we actually had to, we kind of couldn't do it very well, and it's a bit hard because it's in the center, in the residential area. So yeah, that's the only thing that I would say. They have other places they could do it, so it would probably be more appropriate. Because we also have the same here regarding the noise. Obviously, you have to, when you get to 10 or 11, you have to stop making noise. This is the one exception, always like the town parties.
yeah, it's mental.
Yeah.
Like the neighbors warned us like a month or 2 months up front, so like there's gonna be a big party, get ready, like we know like next year we're not gonna be here because it was mental. You just cannot sleep. It's like right next to our house. It's it's impossible to do anything.
The worst thing for me is the rockets. We call it the rockets. I know it doesn't make much sense in English, but it's like fireworks, but without the visuals, just the noise, just the exploding noise, and all animals like go panicky and super afraid, and the little children as well. I don't know how they do. I understand like the fireworks with the visual thing. You're like, okay, you're doing a spectacle, a show. I still don't understand just the exploding.
There's a thing here, and it's like every time it's whatever is happening, it's like a little bit of celebration, and they start shooting this. I don't even know what it is. Like he's shooting like a gun or something, but it's no purpose. There's no visuals. It's like a firework, and it's just one bang. So they shoot, poof, bang, and because we are in a valley, the echo is just like crazy. It's like I think it's even louder than it should be. And then the other day we went to another town, and that's sitting in the valley as well. Everything is valley here because you get the mountain and then towns around. And then they shoot this. I don't know what is this. It's like a bonfire, but without it's just a bomb and no fire. And then it's just like they bang, and it just echoes, and then it's like in a box. If you are in the valley, it's like a box, and it's just like, and it's not just cats and kids. I hate it. It's like there's no purpose. And then it's like a mess, like they have this like coming down, they chanting, they have the philharmonic stuff, they walking like live music with the carnival, and they're like singing really just they're carrying the sand. The priest is going after, they're blessing the saint and the city and everything, and then they sing it every 10 seconds. I said, where did Jesus approve to this? Like, what's going on? So annoying. And then every time, like, if someone dies, there's a funeral. It's not just like you have the bell, which is like this church bell. It's just constant like boom, boom, and then they have this bonfire. And then the music is like, these people just love noise, man.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think it's just, it's such a quiet place that whenever something significant happens, it's just noise. It's the signal that, okay, something is happening, Even if it's not in your town, it's the nearby town, Either there's a funeral, someone passed away, or there's something to celebrate, because you hear the exploding noise. But apart from that, it's pretty quiet and pleasant. But it's just
funny. That's the thing, that
funny.
it's like so quiet. It went from nothing, like 0 to 100 in a weekend.
Yes.
And then like, the next day is so good. Everyone was just like quiet and no one's
Everyone
here.
was sleeping.
Everyone was sleeping, yeah. I was like little hoping on that Friday when they started, like, it's not that bad, it's like they're playing like very music but very silently. I said it's not bad. Then it was like 10 o'clock already, or like 8, 9. If it's gonna be this, like very quiet. And then like after 10, 11, they started real hard, and then just didn't stop till 5. It's a little different in the UK, because you started to drink afternoon if you go on out, and 8, 9 you already drunk, or or like maybe sooner, and then you go to the pub, and then you go to club, and then by 2, 3 you're home usually. But here, like,
That's one of the big cultural shock that I had when I went into the UK, was when I went out with my friends for the first time. We got out to dinner, and we went to dinner outside of the house. Sometimes we would dinner at home and then go out. And that day, one of the first few times I went out in the UK, we went for dinner at like 8:30, which is when we go for dinner. Everyone was already on the streets, like, whoa, and I was like, what's going on? Is it like, is something happening? Is like a special day? Oh no, people here like are drunk already. Like, oh, okay, that's cool, okay. Because usually here we have dinner, and then we stay home a little bit, we have a dessert and everything, then we get out to go actually out and party at like 10-ish, or after 10. You saw like the first concert was at 10 on that Friday. There was like half a dozen people. And then like after 11, everyone started to arrive, like, and then it was hundreds of people by midnight. Because that's how we do it, and then we party all night long. But in the UK, it's different. By 2, the bars are closing. You have like the big clubs only, and most people probably are going home already, because they start drinking in the afternoon. So it's a very different way to party. It's a very different schedule. I think we party similarly, but the schedule is quite different.
Exactly.
So yeah, so we had to handle the noise until 5 a.m. We had to come to the gym with the cat, because he was so scared.
Yeah. You were sleeping here with the cat.
Yeah. I slept here with the cat.
That's a little bit quieter, because you have the big door, and then you have like the locker room you can lock yourself in, so you have some kind of a soundproofing, but it was just, everything was banging, it was hard. I slept okay. Like, if you're very tired, you put your earplugs in, and it was okay.
The adventures of living in a small town.
Yeah, it's just
the unexpected adventures.
Yeah. It's not just, yeah. I just think it's just very badly scheduled, or not scheduled, but how they do these parties. Because I think it would be way more successful, or you could throw a bigger party if you take it down to the beach, like everyone else does, because it wouldn't disturb anyone. You could do whatever you want. You can make it bigger, and it's more localized there. You don't have to like walk around other people's gardens and other people's place when you want to go from one stage to another, or things like that. Like, you don't disturb anyone, and then you just see like hundreds of people walking under your window while they're going from one side to another. They obviously they throw the rubbish away, and they're pissing in your garden and stuff like this. So I don't know.
Yeah,
what's
that
the point.
happened a couple times.
Yeah, I don't know what's the point to doing here. You could have like, okay, the parade here is cool. Like, you have street parties in England as well, but you have it like in like, for example, Brighton, when you have the Pride, you start from one side of the town, the Pride goes through the city, and then you finish up in an open space area, in the garden or like something, on the park, and then you party in the park where there's like no residential area. But here is just, everything is just same place, and then you just go from one stage to another, and then like houses between. It was very weird.
Yeah. Although in Pride they always do the upper town in the residential area.
St. James Street.
Yeah, St. James. Very big party. Those people, like, it's relentless. No one can sleep.
Yeah. Okay, but it's one night first of all, and
yeah, that's true.
There it has a cultural reference, because there used to be all the LGBTQ people lived on that street, so it was more like a cultural thing. So they keep up the tradition basically. But to give you a warning, they It's always gonna happen. It's a closed down area, so it's not like the big pride there. There's like a smaller version of the pride is there. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So that was a bit of that was a surprise, but now I know.
Yeah.
It was, in a way, it was nice to see how the traditional parties go. It's not that different than my hometown, but we usually do the party closer to the seaside, or if it's like these food stands, street foods, and we have sometimes like carousels and stuff like that. We put it, towards the end of the city in a place where there's barely any housing and stuff like that. Not like in the center, like they did here. But yeah.
Well, next time we know.
Next time we know.
And this, I think this goes around the whole island, no? Because it started somewhere on the south, and every weekend this is like a different town, so it goes to the next town. Because a couple of weeks ago there was in Funchal, the capital, and then went to Santa Cruz, Mexico, and then now it's like here.
And now it's going to be Canissal.
Now it's gonna be Canissal, yeah. So it's like every weekend in different place. I guess they do the similar stuff. It's like the religious base. They execute it differently, depends on because now tomorrow is gonna be the port. Apparently that you can get it in a boat. It's like a boat party.
Yeah.
Because it's like the port there, no?
Yeah, they do yes, it's in the port. Canissal has the marina or a port, and then they line up a few boats, and the party is on the boat. So instead of doing it in town, they do it on the boats. One of the boats goes and leaves the saint in the water. And then I think at the end, this is at the beginning of the day, and then at the end of the day, they go and retrieve the saint, and you can go on the boats and see that. And then you come back, and all the boats are lined up. Each boat has their own party, and apparently you can, if you don't like this type of music or whatever, or if you see someone you know on the other boat, you can just jump from a boat to another. There are actually people whose only job during that night is to just help you move from boat to boat. And it sounded quite interesting. Maybe next year, maybe we will try and get a footage from that, because I've never seen that. Although I'm from a fisherman town, we don't do party on the boats. So it sounded quite interesting, at least to go and see.
Here in my country, we have a lot of like abandoned factories. So we have factory parties a lot, because a lot of like industrial towns in Hungary, especially on the east where I come from, and they have this own coal mine factories or something like that. They already closed, and we have big parties. If you've been in Germany, a lot of it's very similar. You have like in the Berlin parties, is always like this abandoned warehouses or factories. It has a cool vibe.
I've heard they do it in churches as well.
Churches, yeah, Amsterdam. There's one big part in Amsterdam when they refurbished the church, and they now they play the techno. So the acoustic must be nice. Yeah.
And with all the lights and everything, because churches are very tall, right? So you go into one of those parties, you already know what you're going for, and it's like you're going for all senses will be involved in that party, like visually, because there's a lot of light shows and everything, and the music and whatever you're going to take to have more fun and stuff like that. And it must be really cool to be inside of a church and go for that. One of my friends that has done Erasmus in Budapest, he told me that one is never seen anything like this, and they took that concept of making parties in abandoned factories, and they sort of recreated this in Budapest, which is an urban environment, so no factories there. But they did it in abandoned flats or abandoned buildings, and they sort of made a pop-up club in a very nice building. They put a car inside of it.
Yeah.
This was like the coolest party I've ever been.
Yeah, in Budapest, they have this concept of ruin pubs.
Yeah.
Where it's like, originally they were ruins, and then they just sell alcohol there and stuff. But obviously they make it like the gentrification, and then this they made it up to the more wealthy middle class. So you have the feeling of the ruin, but actually it's a nice place, and then it's like a little bit elite. so it's actually like more expensive than you go into a normal club. You have like like a ruined car, or you see the pipes, or, or like the wall is not finished, but it's made up. It's not like it's
It
like
reminds me of a club that it doesn't exist anymore, but it used to exist in Porto. Well, not actually in Porto, but on the other side in Gaia. Then they moved it to Porto, to a place that used to be a warehouse for the city market. But originally it was on the other side, and it was on a sort of medieval, not ruined, but very old building. And they made the club inside of that, so everything was like a castle, with big stones, big stone walls, and man, it was so. Actually, it's where I had my first concert, opening for. I was like 16, opening for a pretty cool rap band, and unforgettable. It was really cool. But then they closed down. I guess the Porto side had most of the, the party-going people. Or had the most trendy clubs, I guess. So then they moved to the other side. But it was really, really cool club. It was called Hard Club.
What was the craziest place you performed?
That's a great question, isn't it? Well, I performed in town parties like this. I performed in one festival. I performed in I think that was the coolest place, as in the place itself that I performed. Crazy regarding like the people in the environment, just the small clubs. I think those were always the craziest, like hardcore clubs or old school clubs that only the people who want to see new upcoming rap bands would go to. Those were always the craziest parties. yeah. Because the other ones, like bigger clubs or a festival or stuff like that, it was a bit more commercial. People would go to see, probably not even you, but just the whole set, and it's a different environment. But when you go to a hard club rap parties, you're gonna see crazy stuff happening, but never had any problems. And once we went to a concert, and right away we jumped onto the club next door that was having a. No, we went to like a rap festival. The upcoming bands, it was not like a big thing. And then we went to the club where they were having a drum and bass party. It was my first drum and bass party. And the only reason I even went is because I needed to wait for my lift to take me back home after the concert. It was a very crazy one, but very cool. Yeah. It was a fun time. Actually, I think most of the times that I went out was because I was going with the band. So it was really cool. But yeah, different ways to party in different places, different countries. It was really nice to see. I think next time we go on holiday somewhere, we should just pick at the clubs and see.
The next day, the neighbors and then the town people, oh, did you like the party? It was so nice at the festival. I was like, yeah, man.
Festa bom. Festa boa.
Festa bom. Oh. So, yeah, man. It was just fucking nice. I guess they did like something like, oh, you never seen this party before, right? Like, do you have this in car? I said, dude, it's just a village party. I would be like much more prefer if they show something like traditions here, or they would dress up the old clothes, or they act like the town was old, like this medieval parties or something.
The parade.
Like to see the parade or something, like they do something traditional rather than just playing club music till 5 in the morning. Like, you can see this anywhere you go. It's the same party and the same street party. It's nothing special. And then, it would be. I think it would be much more authentic if they would do something like that rather than just a street party, because you can go anywhere. It's the same. Like, it's not like it's something like a special thing. Like, no, dude, it's just club music playing outside.
Like, if you Google or go on YouTube and write Pimba music, I mean, we understand the lyrics and they're usually funny, and it's like, and it's something that you do for a little bit with your friends. It's like, oh, this guy's, crazy lyrics, and you laugh about it, stupid jokes. And then you go on and go to hear your actual club music, but hearing that type of music for many, many hours in a row, It's not easy, not easy.
It has every country.
But,
This
yeah.
I guess it's like country music in America, but in my country we have the same. It's just, I don't know. You have this some like very basic, very what is it called? Cheesy lyrics, and they have this bass underneath it. Like it's like, oh, it's a traditional, like it's like a gypsy band, and then like playing with the violin and everything, but then no, it's just like they have like like a computer beat underneath with some cheesy lyrics. So yeah, I think every country has the same. That's very
It's I mean, it's funny. It's just not. After a few hours, it's not as funny.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to wrap it up soon because they're gonna start going to round 2 on the party. This is Sunday, so hopefully this is the last one, and then they can go back to normal, be quiet. Anything to add?
No.
Okay.
If anyone is very interested to see how a traditional town party goes, it's a good weekend to come here. If you're coming for the environment and peace and quiet, then probably not. Just another time of the year.
Definitely. Okay, thanks you for joining us today, guys, and we'll catch you next one. Peace out.